Giving me an up-close and personal view. Well, welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Joanne Powell Show. I am Joanne. We are coming to you on the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.com, Hollywood. And those joining us from the Go Harrison Show, welcome back to our show as well. We've been talking about the push on Capitol Hill. The Republican Congress-led Congress is making their push and moving forward with their effort to take away federal funding from Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood provides medical services to thousands of women across the country. Joining me now to talk about this issue is Juliana Serrano with the All Saints Church in Pasadena. The All Saints Church is a pro-choice congregation. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, you're a supporter of Planned Parenthood. In years past, this has happened before, but there has not been, I guess, kind of the perfect storm. Mm-hmm. You have a Republican-controlled Congress mm-hmm. and an incoming Republican president who has already made known that he is supporting this act to basically defund Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. So moving forward in this fight, I mean, people are saying we are going down we're not going to go down without a fight. What are some of the things that are being done to try and hold on to the health care that Planned Parenthood does for women across the country and men?
Well, I think the reality is that Planned Parenthood has been around for 100 years and has experienced a number of obstacles in its history. And so here we are with yet another one, and I think that we won't go down with a fight. All of us who believe in that institution are standing up and getting our elected officials to go on record and announce their support of the work, the healthcare provision that happens in Planned Parenthood, so that their perspective is known and that we can silence the opposition, really, and make our perspective known. The reality is that most Americans do believe in choice, and many Americans, many of whom voted for Donald Trump, are actually supporters of Planned Parenthood. That narrative isn't dominating the media at this point in time, and it is certainly not the dominant perspective of the Republican majority in Congress. And so we have to be very careful about, as we receive information, how we understand it in the big context. And I think that what we are failing to do is announce our perspective in a more vocal fashion. I think that there will be opportunities during the administration for us to be more vocal, and we will take those advantages. And the Women's March on Washington and all the other portions of the country that will be engaging in Women's March will be an opportunity for us to declare that kind of support.
And I know there are already marches on this issue, and more people are kind of blending their voice. Yeah. Starting this weekend. It's Martin Luther King weekend. Yes. And the holiday weekend, so a lot of people are planning protest and marches in their local cities, and then there's a big one that's also planned for after the inauguration mm-hmm. of Trump as well. So there's one thing that Planned Parenthood is known in terms of those that are a part of the Right to Life movement mm-hmm. as the abortion providers, which mm-hmm. is 3% of what they do mm-hmm. overall. Mm-hmm. But one of the components and the majority of what they do is providing health care to women in need. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are, in underserved communities. Yes. And with that, if you don't have these clinics available, where will they get their birth control, which is a kind of a preventative way to stop abortions from happening. So if you don't have access to birth control, where do you go? Because people that are saying, you take the money from Planned Parenthood, we'll give it to other clinics, but you've got thousands of women that'll be flooding these clinics. Can they handle that type of
That's
influx?
right. I think that across the nation, it's actually millions of women and men that would be impacted. And I think the question remains, and I think that Congress doesn't have a response to this, where would these individuals go to receive their health care services? There's no plan for that, and I think the expectation is that there would be other health centers that are not Planned Parenthood health centers that would absorb those patients and then be serving those patients. But I think that that's an unrealistic expectation that these other locations would have the capacity to be able to serve the women and men in need. What we already know is that many of the patients served by Planned Parenthood are in underserved communities that don't have access to any other health center. And that is precisely why they are going to Planned Parenthood, oftentimes traveling significant distances to get there. And so there's going to be huge gaps in services for women and men across the nation.
Because if you kind of couple this up with the whole move to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which is also Obamacare, some people don't realize that they are actually one and the same.
Yes.
They oppose Obamacare, but they support the Affordable Care Act, and they're the same thing.
Yes,
You're getting
that's right.
Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare.
Yes.
So people are like, oh. And then the next step, if you defund Planned Parenthood, you have these healthcare clinics that now will be closed, and then you will have nowhere to go to get these basic healthcare needs that you want. So it's more than just an abortion issue.
Absolutely.
It is a healthcare issue, which is a broader focus. Do you think people are realizing that, or they're just looking at the whole abortion issue?
No, I don't think people understand that, because I think far too many people are misinformed about what happens at Planned Parenthood and don't understand the significant amount of comprehensive health services that are provided by that institution. And I will admit, I was one of those persons out there. I mean, I had a very narrow view of what happened at Planned Parenthood, and it wasn't until I was a full-fledged professional adult that I had the opportunity to tour a health center, and I understood intimately for the first time what was happening there and the kind of healthcare services that were happening there. So with the potential defunding of Planned Parenthood, what our nation will experience is a significant healthcare crisis. That, coupled with the reduction of individuals who are insured by eliminating the ACA, millions of people will be without health care, and that is a public health concern.
When you think about that, it's a little concerning, because what you have said,
Yes,
to say it's the least, because it's going to be pretty crazy out there if you repeal Obamacare, you defund Planned Parenthood, and you have all these millions of people sitting there. There's 20 million people that are served through the Affordable Care Act, and there are millions that come through through Planned Parenthood. So people need to really think about that when they are looking at this issue. I know people are passionate about their concerns about abortion, but if you can overlook that component, because that component isn't really in play here, because no federal money goes toward that anymore.
That's right. And I have to just name, too, that what will this inevitably do is continue to marginalize communities that are already marginalized, meaning specifically women, who are marginalized in our society, and persons of color. I mean, that is who is predominantly being served by systems like the Affordable Care Act and through institutions like Planned Parenthood.
When you look at this is something that we'll continue this conversation because we're running out of time. It's just that people just need to be educated and aware and look outside of their focus of what it is that they need, because this is getting very serious and it's going to affect millions of people's lives.
That's absolutely right.
And that's something that, as the Right to Life movement is a Christian-based movement, and as Christian, you need to think about what you're doing, even though your intentions are good, what it's going to mean to other people out there. Just, that's something that we all have to think about on both sides of this issue, because it is larger than abortion, I'm thinking.
Right,
It's not just about abortion. That's a smaller portion of the large picture. But I want to thank you for coming on and talking. I'm sure we'll have you and others on talking about this subject, because it's not going away. It's something that's just going to get more involved as we head closer to inauguration and moving past that. So thanks again.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about tips on how to become healthier in 2017. So don't go away.
If you are an adult that began college and has not finished your college degree, let me put it to you straight. If your lifestyle and your standard of living is not becoming to you, then you should be coming to us, Oakwood University Elite Program. We are the fast, flexible adult degree completion program for the busy adult, like you.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098. It's time to leap.
For years, people have trusted McKay's Family Mortuary. We're part of your community and we'll take care of the details. We offer a variety of memorial services, including sea scattering and cremation. According to the Federal Trade Commission, the average funeral cost is over $9,000. We have complete funeral chapel service starting at only $31.25, casket included. Direct cremation starting at only $9.95. Visit one of our 5 locations and meet our caring and diverse staff. McKay Family Mortuary. Let us be the shoulder to lean on.
Thanks to Oakwood University and the LEAP program, I have now a college degree. So to the Spanish-speaking members of this community who feel that the LEAP program is something you should consider, I would say, ánimo a la universidad. Considere el programa LEAP de Oakwood University.
Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.
Seize the Day Scuba for your best scuba experience above and below the sea. You'll find friendly staff, experienced PADI certified instructors, and state-of-the-art scuba equipment and gear. Join our dive club and we'll help you plan memorable scuba excursions. Immerse yourself. Seize the Day Scuba, serving Southern California. Call 949-220-0500 to create your scuba experience.
When I first started into the program, yes, I had doubts. I was really impressed with Oakwood University, with the faculty and the staff and the student body. It was a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was thinking about going back and finishing their degree.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.